Good morning, Jonesboro. This is meteorologist Tim Root with your KLEK 102.5 forecast. It'll be partly to mostly sunny, chilly today in the low 40s, a northeast wind 5 to 10. Light winds tonight, partly cloudy, upper 20s and low 30s. A chance of freezing rain, sleet, and snow, and then all rain in the afternoon Friday, the high near 40. Occasional rain and snow showers in the low 30s Friday night. Occasional rain Saturday, partial clearing Sunday, the highs over the weekend near 40. Jonesboro, that's your KLEK 102.5 FM weather.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. Opposition candidate Felix Tshisekedi has won the DRC's presidential vote, according to officials. South Korean President Moon Jae-in is predicting a second summit between North Korea's Kim Jong-un and President Trump is imminent. Jaguar Land Rover is confirming 4,500 job losses as it continues a major cost-cutting exercise. And UK Prime Minister Theresa May continues to make her case to MPs, but the EU's reportedly open to the idea of postponing Brexit.
It's 9:01.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
To you. I almost forgot what day it was. I hope that you're having a great start to your day. You're tuning in Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. I'm your host, Quabila Jones, and my very special guest today is Miss Bridgette Davis from Arkansas State University. She is a part of the Arkansas State Association of Black Social Workers, and so she's a treasurer. Well, she serves as the treasurer. Okay, I start over, but we're going to talk all about the organization and some upcoming events they have that they will love for the community to support. So before we get into the events, I want Ms. Bridgette to please give us an introduction of herself and tell us what made you choose to go into social work.
Well, good morning. My name is Bridgette Davis, and again, I am a student at Arkansas State University, and I'm here representing our A-State Black Social Association of Black Social Worker, and I am a treasurer. And I decided that social worker has been a passion for me. This is something that I have been doing for years, but just didn't have that the experience that I needed to be in this field. So I love helping people. I love giving them information, resources, and everything. Reach out into the community. And I just think that social worker is one of the careers that is so vital and necessary.
Yes, ma'am.
Because we not only work dealing with the well-being of clients, but we also worry about their social environment, and that's very important. So social workers, I just want to give my hat, tip it out to a round of applause to all my social workers out here who's underpaid. Overworked and underpaid.
I tell you, I truly appreciate social workers because you all are in literally you're everywhere. Schools, hospitals, prisons, facilities that help children and families. Like anywhere that there's a nurse, doctor, or someone else in the medical field, almost there's a social worker there as well.
Yes.
All right, so I want to thank you so much for following your passion. It takes very special people that are dedicated to be social workers to go into that field because there's a lot of information you have to take in, digest, and reciprocate on the job.
That's so true.
All right, so tell us more about the Arkansas State Association of Black Social Workers. Tell us, when was it adopted, or when did it start in Arkansas? Okay, you don't know exactly when it started?
Well, Dr. Walls, I believe she's the one that started it back in the early 2000s.
Okay.
And it used to be, we're under the National Association of Black Social Workers, so we had to kind of change the name.
Okay.
Because it couldn't be too national.
Okay.
So this was just a place where where the black social workers can unite together and where they can have a place where their voice can be heard.
Okay.
So even though we consider as the black social worker, we also accept any other minorities or races as well.
Okay, so it's not exclusive. You're
No,
inclusive.
ma'am. It's not. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, and besides the events, we're going to get into the International Fashion Show and Taste of Culture event that's coming up and some other things. But what are some other types of engagement activities that you all host, either on campus or off campus?
Well, in November, we did the International Thanksgiving Dinner.
Okay.
And our main focus is where we want to bridge the gap between the international students and the regular students, where we can learn about their culture because they're here, learning about our culture. Okay. So we just want to bridge that gap between the students.
Okay. All right. I want to say good morning to Mr. Chu and to Audrey Lee Sanders. She says, yes, dedication and patience. Amen to that. Don't forget that was in reference to being a social worker. All right. So let's get into this event. And this is the second annual International Fashion Show and Taste of Culture. Can you tell us a little bit about how this thought became an event? Like, how did it all get started? Were you part of the first?
No, this is my first year starting in the fall being with the social work program.
Okay.
And this is their second annual. They have had other fashion show. I think they had like the African, and then so they kind of just broadened it and changed it. So this will be their second one of doing and making it the international and the taste of culture.
Okay. So give us a rundown of what people can expect during this event. What will they be exposed to?
Well, you would get an experience with the students with a platform with diverse food, fashion, and different culture.
Okay.
Where they were exposed to what they're modeling in, what they'll be wearing. And we also have them to bring a dish of what they want to present, what they do in their culture. So it's exciting. So that's why we call it the taste of culture.
Okay. So, hi, Dr. Wall. Dr. Walls is joining us this morning. So, tell us what role will you be playing during this event?
Well,
or have you been assigned a role yet?
Well, I am the treasurer, but I'm like all over. It's whatever is needed. We all a team here, and we all working together to put this where there be an event for not only the students but also the community. We want them to get involved as well.
All right. So for those that feel that Arkansas State is just a separate entity and it's over here in this corner by itself, it's not. This is your opportunity to get to know the students that go to school here, that live in this city. They need to get to know who they may possibly be working with and living around. So this is a great opportunity to fellowship and network with these students and help, embrace them into the city of Jonesboro. All right, so good morning to you, Dr. Walls.
Good morning.
Good morning. So I started out asking Ms. Bridgette about the Arkansas State Association of Black Social Workers. I know that you are the brainchild behind this. So can you give us a little background into what inspired you to start this organization?
Okay. I have always been a member of the National Association of Black Social Workers, and we did not have a branch on our campus.
Okay.
So I felt the need for our students, especially our minority students, to understand the history of NABSW, which is the National Association of Black Social Workers. And so we did not have a chapter on the campus.
Okay.
So at that time, I was also a member of the national organization, and it is a conference that I always look forward to attending because there are several rituals that we do at the National Black Social Work Conference that takes us back to our roots and our heritage. And so I felt the need to share that with students on our campus.
Okay.
With the understanding that during those early years when it was first developed, that we had not only African American students, but we also had some other students that wanted to be a part of that organization as well. So we included those students as well.
Okay.
I always take a stance in that it is important to know your heritage and to know, your roots, where you came from, so you don't fall for anything. And if we're going to be a champion of social justice and really implementing and trying to do what our profession calls for us to do, is to start where the client is. Well, you can't start where I am if you don't understand who I am and where I came from. And so this is just another avenue of making students aware of that, as well as people that are in our community and that are on our campus. The university have within our policy a commitment to diversity. So that says to me that this is not about one group, but this is about several groups that are on our campus.
And that's, amen. Ms. Bridgette was talking earlier about, social workers not only care about the well-being, and it's about the social environment. And you and I have had these conversations before when discussing please help me out, the events that you hold, the annual conferences.
Yeah.
The Health Disparities Conference. So we've had the conversation about you have to treat the whole person and not just the individual parts. And so I don't think people truly grasp the necessity of social workers and what you actually do. It's not just, you're not just a case manager. You are providing case management services, but it's so much deeper than that.
Yeah, a lot of time if you ask people what do social workers do, they'll say they take babies. And whenever I am involved in speaking engagements in the public on a national level or whatever, and I say, yes, that is one of the things that we do. And I always follow that with, I'm non-apologetic for that, because that happens when you have good social workers that have thoroughly assessed the situation and the child may be in harm's way. But we also work diligently. That a lot of times people don't say that when we take children, but we also work very diligently in trying to reunite that family if it is possible.
Right. And a lot of times you all take your cases home because you internalize whatever you're dealing with your client, and you can't help but take it home with you. So, Ms. Bridgette, have you had any field experience yet or personal experience? How deep are you into your program?
Right now, I'm doing my internship at the A-State Disability Services, and we're taught not to take your work home with you.
Okay.
At all. So,
well, how is that working out for you?
I do get calls where I help people, but when it's dealing with my students that I mentor, I do not take it home at all, because you got to have that mental break where you're not overloaded, where I'll be able to provide their professional services for them.
All right. I know I see a lot of, people on social media that are social workers. You see a lot of these posts and memes and things where social workers can get burnt out, and again, you're underappreciated, overworked, and often underpaid, depending on what industry you're in. We need to learn how to appreciate our social workers just a little bit more, because you could be the gap between receiving a service, receiving the help we need, depending on where you are. again, I mentioned I've encountered social workers in the hospital, and they were that go-between to get the services I needed for my aftercare, or even while in the hospital. So.
Right. And Bridget gets an A+ today for her response. I was wondering how she was going to respond to that question. So, she's a good student. So, because we really do teach self-care. It is a must in the profession that we are in. And so we teach students very much how to be there and to be an access to services and to assist families in getting to a different place and learning how to advocate for themselves. But we are that mediator in between. We are that broker and that advocator for getting the services that clients need. But we also realize with every client that we services that we're going to go away, and we can't work with you forever. So we're going to be about teaching that skill set that will sustain you for long term when we have discharged that particular family.
Okay. All right, so I want to kind of go back or segue, looking at the International Fashion Show and Taste of Culture. Again, in relation to social work, you deal with people from all walks of life, all ethnicities, all backgrounds, just anything possible, you deal with it. And so with this event, do you hope people that attend walk away with a deeper understanding of those of their neighbors around them, and not your next door neighbor, your everywhere neighbor?
Yeah.
And what are some of the things you hope people walk away from or they get when they come to this event?
Basically, kind of what you said in a nutshell. This, I'm just so excited that we're bringing this event back. Okay. We've had fashion shows before, and they have gone very well. And then I remember a few years back when we were doing audition for fashion shows, and some of our international students got a wind of that and they came. Okay. And so then the next one we did, we, instead of calling it the African fashion show, we moved to the international fashion show, because we did have students that were from other countries that brought in other cultures. And so then we added the taste of culture to the show, because we will have authentic dishes that will be prepared from other countries, and students and community participants will have an opportunity to taste those dishes and enjoy it. And I think, too, with it being the international fashion show, it fits with a state commitment to diversity. Our student population is continuing to grow internationally, and so this is kind of our way of recognizing that and trying to engage that population. This group of cohort for as NABSW students they're not large in numbers, but nobody ever said that you had to be large in numbers to do great things. And so they also brought back this past year our international dinner for Thanksgiving, where we hosted a international dinner for students that were left on campus. A lot of time we don't think about that when we are going home to be with our family. And so they did a magnificent job in that we probably served 15 to 20 international students for Thanksgiving dinner, and they were so very grateful. In fact, a lot of those students have agreed to participate in our international family fashion show. So it's just, a lot of time we get caught up. Okay. We get caught up in our own everyday life, and we kind of forget. And I know that our new chancellor, Dr. Dampis, is really in tune to some of the needs for international students. So we're excited about this upcoming event.
That's awesome. We have a Facebook comment from Ms. Donna Kirksey. She says, "Good morning. It takes a special person to be a social worker. I sincerely appreciate your work. It does take a village." Well, thank you so much for that, Ms. Donna. All right, so and then along with the fashion show aspect, the different foods that will be prepared, this gives people the opportunity to talk and interact and really network with others that they may not have normally would, that they may not come in contact with on a regular basis. So this gives them an opportunity to see other people in their own space and get to know who they are and get to hopefully gain some appreciation for another culture outside of their own.
Yeah, that is one of the primary goal. And I think that, this fashion show is just one small step. I think that, and I don't want to get into politics, even though, policy is one of my love. But when I look at what is going on today, it's because people don't take time to dialogue with one another and get to know one another. And if we can do a better job at that, we wouldn't have all of this division and dissension between races and politics and parties and all of the things that we are dealing with right now.
All right. On that note, we're going to have to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk some more about the social work department and some other things that you all are working on for 2019. You tune into Community Conversations. We'll be right back after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Have you ever considered adopting a child? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. Susan and I were already blessed with 3 children, but then our hearts were stirred and moved to adopt 2 children from Siberia, Russia. The kids were then 9 and 12 years old when they came into our home. They came carrying hurt, pain, insecurity, and instability. That was 10 years ago. We now look back at the last decade and remember the struggles we went through, but we also remember the joys we experienced. Today, my wife and I are going to share our journey in adopting 2 wonderful children. I hope you'll join us on my podcast to hear our crazy adoption story. Just go to markmerrill.com. Remember, your family first.
Want to connect with Mark on Facebook? You can at facebook.com/Mark Merrill.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA1908.com.
Family Minute is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
This is how we do it.
Hey KLEK, it's your girl Allie J, inviting you to come hang with us at Twilight Skate, January 15th for our 90s skate party. That's right, we're playing all your favorite 90s hits, jams, and classics in a special live broadcast on Facebook and KLEK 102.5 FM. It's only $5 to get in and $1.50 for skate rentals. Tuesday, January 15th from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. And if you missed it last time, here's your chance to come kick it with KLEK at Twilight Skate, 2700 Phillips Drive for Night of the 90s. This event is a KLEK fundraiser.
This is how we do it. It's Friday night. And I feel
KLEK thanks CJ Pepper and the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com.
The Office of Diversity and Community Engagement at Arkansas State University, under the leadership of Dr. Maurice Gibson, is a proud supporter of KLEK and is dedicated to finding innovative ways to advance their mission of creating a diverse and inclusive environment, conducive to educating, enhancing, and enriching lives, uplifting various and diverse groups on the A-State campus, and striving to maintain Arkansas State University a place that is inclusive to all individuals, regardless of origin, color, religion, socioeconomic status, or sexual orientation. More information about the Arkansas State University Office of Diversity and Community Engagement is available at www.astate.edu/diversity and 870-972-3081.
KLEK 102.5 FM wants to be active in the community. If you or your organization is hosting a community service event, we would like to know about it and be a part of it. KLEK will promote your event on air, online, and on social media. KLEK personalities may also attend the event and provide music and or entertainment. Certain restrictions and availability may apply. If you or your organization would like to partner with KLEK to make the Jonesboro community a better place, call 870-277-1080 or email us at klek@klekfm.org. In order for a community announcement or church announcement to be aired on KLEK 102.5 FM, we ask that the announcement be sent at minimum 1 week in advance. Thank you for supporting KLEK 102.5 FM.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5. I want to say good morning to Miss Maddie.
What day is it?
Mrs. Maddie Warren. Thank you for tuning in. All right, so we're back with our special guest, Miss Bridgette Davis. Lord, why am I tongue-tied on that? Bridgette Davis and Dr. Patricia Guy Walls from Arkansas State University from the Social Work Department. They are representing the Arkansas State Association of Black Social Workers. We've been discussing the second annual International Fashion Show and Taste of Culture. We didn't get into the date, time, and location, so we got all into other social work stuff. So let's get into the more details of this event and how people can support and the costs and things of that nature.
Can I say hi to Maddie?
Yes.
Hi, Maddie. Maddie is a former graduate of Arkansas State University, doing great and big things in our community. She is also a former member of NABSW, so we hope to see you at the fashion show. The fashion show will be March 28th. We're going to kick off at 6 p.m. and it will go till 10 p.m.
Okay.
Now, there will be different sets during the fashion show where we will be modeling business attire, international clothing, which will include the African attire, as well as clothing from our other students that will be participating from the international student population. And we will do sports and maybe some formal attire. We don't have them all worked out, but we know that there will be 3 to 4 different sets.
Okay.
We would also be providing some entertainment in between these sets. Hopefully we will have some comedy relief.
Okay.
And we will have some music in between the sets for the for the attendees. This year's show will be at a new site, so I'm very excited about it. We're going to be at the First National Bank Arena, and the show will be held in the Hames Room.
And can you give us an idea of what, I know the different entrances are colored, so maybe which entrance would be the best to go through to get to that room? Is the yellow the main entrance?
It's the red lower level.
It's red lower level.
Okay.
And we will have signage out for the people to kind of know where to go, because it gets kind of crazy at the arena, and we want to make sure that everybody comes to the right entrance. ASU students, with your ID, it will be $5, and we will be pre-selling tickets. General admission, it would be $10.
Right.
And so those are very, very reasonably priced for what you will be getting at this show.
And I just want to stress that most people think, because you are a part of the college, the university, your programs, your extracurricular activities are automatically funded. But you won't have to do your own fundraising for whatever else you want to do. When you host the Health Disparities Conferences, that money goes back into some of the needs for the students and the needs for the social work department.
Absolutely.
Say if you want to take a trip that was educationally beneficial to whatever you're doing, it has to be funded somehow. It's not for personal use, it's for education. So I just want to stress that by supporting events like this, the community is supporting the university and the College of Social Work, the Department of Social Work, and you're supporting the students who are one day going to be out in the field, hopefully working for you. So
absolutely, and that is such a great point, and I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the goals what we would like to do is, with part of this funding, is for several other members to be able to go to the national convention. If Maddie is still listening, she and I shared with Miss Bridgette, and I showed her that picture that is in my office of those students that raised money and went to the national convention, and at that year it was in California. And they were recognized because at that time my student chapter was the only student chapter that was in the state, and so they recognized each of my young ladies, and they had an opportunity to be mentored throughout that conference with some of the leading people. So I'm certainly hopeful that this group will be able to do that. Other funding that that this particular group has been really, really diligent about doing, they also provided, they co-sponsored a community event this past fall with A State Care. They were very, very proactive in gathering food and purchasing food that assisted 25 families along with A State Care for Thanksgiving, creating Thanksgiving baskets. They also were proactive in providing Christmas baskets as well for needy families. They, what was the name of the nursing home that you all went to?
The one out there, the new one, Ridge Point, is it Ridge?
Ridgecrest.
Okay.
And they, raised money and got donation after meeting with the people at the nursing home and finding out what could they do to assist the residents, and they wanted fuzzy footies. And they, raised that money, took money out of money that they had already raised and provided those items for every resident in that facility. So the money that we raise from any event that we are sponsoring, that money goes back into the community, or it goes back into ways for the students to be enriched by attending national conferences. So that's going to help them along their career path.
And we that I say we, those that are already into their profession, they know how important it is to get those continuing education opportunities and attend enrichment seminars and conferences and anything that can help you along the way to elevate you in your career. They understand the importance of that, and hopefully they take that and translate that into support for what you are doing now. And because again, these students are going to be licensed working in the field somewhere. And I'm sure there's several that may go into the nursing home setting, so that helped to give them some insight to how a social worker is needed in the nursing home setting. Those individuals really need advocates because sometimes they don't get the care they need. So again, like you were saying, social workers are just everywhere. They do a multitude of duties. They're very vital to our community, society as a whole.
Yes.
All right. So, Ms. Bridgette, anything else you would like to add to since you've been a part of the social work department, what have you gotten? I don't know if that's the word I want to say. What have you gotten out of it so far? Like, and where do you see yourself going with your career? Like, what is your area of interest, or have you even decided on that yet?
Well, my main focus was the mental health and the veterans.
Okay.
But now that I'm doing my internship at the Disability Services, I kind of want to just work with any individual.
Okay.
Because when you're dealing with disability, it's dealing with mental, visible, or non-visible disabilities.
Okay.
Mental health is dealing with a lot. So my heart goes out to my geriatric as well. I worked with them for 20-something years. So I just kind of want to be where whatever my calling is.
Okay.
Because, I always say that being a social worker is like being a teacher or a preacher. You got to have that calling and that love for it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, we thank you for the work that you're doing so far, and thank you to all the students, and thank you, Dr. Walls, and the other professors in the social work department who push your students in a good way to be the best they can be and excel in the program. You're not just pushing out students for the sake of having numbers. You're pushing out quality students. You're producing quality students, I should say, that are going to be excellent social workers whenever they get out into their field of interest. And so, along with this event, what are some other events? I know in the summer, I want to say spring or summer, is it the social work department that partners with A-State Care to host another type of community
fair. We normally do a community fair in the spring. So we will be speaking with Dr. Evelyn Taylor, who is our coordinator of our A-State Care program, and seeing if that's going to be on her agenda again this year. And if so, we will definitely be co-sponsoring that event. It is always a big hit for students, and it gives them something to do. Fun filled every day with games and lots of foods and lots of activities. I do believe the one that we had in the fall was by far the largest. Wow. They even had helicopter rides and hay rides and things that we had not had before, and that was with A-State Care and the Power of 1 and 2, which is a non-profit organization that was founded by Blaze Taylor and Star Taylor, which are the children of Dr. Evelyn Taylor, and they're doing some amazing work. So oftentimes we partner with that organization as well. But it is all for the good of the community.
Yes, ma'am. Well, if you can put a word in with Star and Blaze and Dr. Evelyn, I would love to have them on to talk about that as well. I love to highlight people who are doing great things in our community that are helping the members of this community to help increase their quality of life. I don't think we truly grasp how vital simple engagement is. No matter what profession you're in, what ethnic background you have, simple engagement with our community members, our neighbors, how that can increase the quality of life of someone else. You don't know what that one interaction, how it can create a domino effect of positive things to happen after that. So
yeah, I would certainly pass the word on to them, and I know that we'll be out of school during the Juneteenth celebration, but we plan to be all over that.
I'm going to definitely get you information in advance
with you guys this summer as well.
All right, so, and again, it takes collaborative efforts. You know, this is one thing that I've seen with not just the social work department, but with any department, any entity, any organization. It takes these collaborative efforts, again, to reach a multitude of people and to just really present, I don't know, my words are getting tangled here. Basically, it boosts morale in people as well. When they see different people from all walks of life coming together, working together for the greater good, it just creates this continued effect, this positive effect. I'm sorry, my words are like really just all over the place today. And I did want to ask you, Dr. Walls, I know the last time we talked, you mentioned that there is a house that the occupational therapy, physical therapy, the social work students can use. It's basically a mock situation setup where they get to role play doing case management or other things they may be doing in their field. So give us some updates on how that is going.
It is called the Star House, and that's simulation training. And we're very, very proud of that house. And you know, it was a brainchild of myself and Dr. Taylor that shared that vision with me, and Miss Karen Fullen, who is the 4E. And Karen and I have worked together for over 20 plus years. But the Simulation House is a 2-bedroom house that is located at 2511 Quapaw on Arkansas State University campus. It is part of the social work department, which is part of the College of Nursing and Health profession. Our vision was to provide a lab, is kind of what I see it as an opportunity for us to observe students' skill set that we are teaching in the classroom. And I call it teaching without real serious consequences, because we have some very high-tech video equipment in there. So we create a scenario, and it goes beyond role play. So we're having students to be familiar with the scenario, and then the instructor is there to watch the students. Some are in the role of therapists or intake workers, and some are being very difficult families like what we deal with in real life. We have an opportunity through this venue to assess the skills if they really got it. And for example, if Bridgette was doing an intake with a very hostile client, and I may observe that she asked a closed question when she should have asked a open question to engage the client further into getting more information, we can then download that to Blackboard and use it as a teachable moment for the entire class. And that's why I said teaching without consequences, because if you make certain areas when you are actually in the heat of an assessment with a hostile client, it can cost your life or harm to the worker or whatever. And so that is moving along nicely. We start to make it mandatory for our Practice 1 class last year. OT has really been utilizing the house as well as PT, because they can go there with their clients and they can make assessment based upon the type of equipment that client may need. When they are discharged from a facility, they can also assess cognition. If they are working with a client that may have had a stroke and as a result there has been a break in their cognition, when they are doing certain skills that may be in the kitchen, may leave a burner on, and so there are limitless opportunities to assess, and we have people that are in the community, child advocacy, they have been over to utilize it. I don't think I have had the state police to utilize it yet, but they are on our radar if they're going to be teaching officers to do assimilation in reference to drugs and those types of things. So we're off to a good start, but I would like to see it booked every day.
Okay. All right, so is it open to other departments, say criminology?
It is criminology, sociology, everybody in the College of Nursing and Health.
Okay.
And so just come to our office. We have a book. Chandra Camp is the administrative assistant that you will call to book it, and she lets you know what date and time the house is available. But again, it's there, and we're encouraging people to utilize it.
All right, so anyone out there that has any connection with other colleges and departments, encourage the students and professors to utilize the simulation house for to enhance and advance whatever you're learning in the classroom. A lot of us will be going out into the field depending on what you are studying, and it takes that extra to really drive that education home. This would also be great for those in the education field.
Absolutely.
That may have to do home visits of any kind. So
if you're going out in the field and you're going into these homes, and I've done that for 20 plus years, this is absolutely a wonderful opportunity. We are currently engaging in a contract with the theater students that are going to be doing the role play. So
awesome. All right. Well, thank you. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we'll just wrap up information about the second annual International Fashion Show and Taste and Culture. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. Ever notice something about commercials? Everybody from department stores to cell phone providers to auto insurance companies are always promising to save you money. The truth is, spending is the opposite of saving. If you are serious about adopting spending habits to save money, you must do the following. Never buy things that you have not budgeted for. Always plan your spending. Never shop without a list, including the amount you expect to pay for each item on that list. Research prices online before you start shopping. Next, focus on buying the things on your list for less than the price you projected. Now, the most important part. Do not spend your savings. Here's the bottom line. You can only save money if you actually bank your savings. That requires planning and discipline. No matter what the ads say, don't believe the hype. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization focused on joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, and service in our hearts. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
Meineke of Jonesboro is now Starks Auto Service, a full-service auto repair and vehicle maintenance center offering engine and transmission repair, brake service, tires, oil changes, and more, performed by ASE certified mechanics. Starks Auto Service, 2813 South Caraway Road in Jonesboro, 870-204-7112. Starks Auto Service, Jonesboro.com.
Support for KLEK is brought to you by
Another Glenn Sain story. One night, Gail and I were at home watching TV, and she looked at her phone and she said, "I don't like this autocorrect when texting." Our preacher had texted Gail to ask her where the women's Christmas party is going to be to put it in the church bulletin. She texted him back, and she didn't notice till later, instead of it saying the Manchester house, it said the Man-Cheater's house. I said, that's not good. Glenn Sain, God bless our troops.
The Craighead County Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Parade Committee will host the annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Youth Explosion Parade and Celebration January 20th and 21st. The theme is Unity. Youth Explosion will take place Sunday, January 20th at 3:30 p.m. at the Jonesboro High School Auditorium. The MLK Parade will begin Monday, January 21st, with participants lining up at 9:30 a.m. and the parade starting at 11 a.m. at the Arkansas State University Armory. The MLK program will begin at noon at the Arkansas State University Fowler Center. The keynote speaker will be Dr. Logan Hampton, president of Lane College. More information is available via Dr. Ray Scales at 870-897-3076 or Deidre Jones at 870-819-7301.
KLEK 102.5 FM is giving you more praise. That's right, KLEK brings to you All Gospel Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, enjoy all of your favorite gospel hits and get your praise on all day long. Plus, the return of the KLEK Praise Break. Lift up your hands, rejoice, and praise Him all day, all Wednesday, every Wednesday on KLEK 102.5 FM.
House of Details, located at 3915 East Highland in Jonesboro, is a proud supporter of KLEK, offering detailing on any type of vehicle: basic wash, hand wash, shampoo, interior cleaning, waxing, buffering, headlight restoration, pickup, delivery, and more, with the motto of anything mean we can clean. Details at 870-273-5187. House of Details on Facebook and at klekfm.org.
The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated was established on January 1st, 1977, originally serving Blytheville, Arkansas, and now serving Jonesboro, Blytheville, Osceola, Marion, and West Memphis, Arkansas. Today, the chapter continues to make an impact by focusing on Alpha's national community outreach initiatives such as My Brother's Keeper, A Voteless People is a Hopeless People, Go to High School, Go to College, Project Alpha, Boy Scouts, and the March of Dimes. The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is committed to Alpha's mission of developing leaders, promoting brotherhood and academic excellence, while providing service and advocacy to the community. More information about the Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is available at MOL Alphas on Facebook or via email at molalphas@gmail.com.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We're speaking with Dr. Patricia Guy Walls from Arkansas State University and Ms. Bridgette Davis. They're both from the social work department. Dr. Walls serves as a professor, Ms. Bridgette is a student, but they're here representing the Arkansas State Association of Black Social Workers, and they're talking about all things social work, everything in between, and also highlighting the second annual International Fashion Show and Taste of Culture. So I want to go back and ask Dr. Walls, since she's here, for the first year, what gave you the inspiration to host any type of international, or, I know you said at first it was the African fashion show, and then you want to incorporate other students' cultures, but just to even start it at all, what gave you the inspiration?
Well, I guess the first inspiration because we included it as part of the celebration of the Black History Month.
Okay.
And so we had that African fashion show as part of our Black History celebration.
Okay.
And so I knew faculty members that were from several different countries, and they had clothing like Dr. Rejoice Adai. We're always grateful for her.
Okay.
But and then I had lots of African clothing that I just buy whenever I'm at conferences, and it's something that I just absolutely love.
Okay.
And a lot of times when I would wear a lot of the clothing during Black History Month, I would get a lot of questions from students. Okay, well, what is it? What are you wearing? And what? And so I was doing this history lesson as I talked about some of the clothing, and just started to bounce it off with some of the members at that time that was in the show, and they said, "Why don't we do this?" And I'm like, "Hey, let's do it."
Now, with the fashion show, and based on the garments that the individuals wear, will the presenter maybe give a little background or history of, depending on what the garment is, say if it's a kimono from Japanese culture or a the African attire, will the presenter maybe explain?
She will explain some of the clothing that the students will be wearing. I can tell you that a lot of the clothing that we will be wearing, a lot of the outfits will be from Ghana. Some of them are tailor-made.
Okay. I was going to ask you, were there any custom pieces?
Yeah, we have some custom pieces from that country, and this year I will be. I have been having dialogue with Dr. Pam, who is in OT.
Okay.
And she has volunteered to allow students to use a lot of her clothing. My international students, I have made it clear with them if they brought clothing, and a lot of time you will see them at different events with their clothing on, that will be one of the outfits that I would request that they wear, and they will give us provide us with the history, so the MC can give the history of their clothing as well. So we are really excited about this event, and we really want to encourage people to come out to it. It's very inexpensive. You're going to get a great show. You're going to get music. You're going to get comedy relief. You're going to get a taste of culture, and we are sure that you will have a great time.
All right. So, Ms. Bridget, can you give us those dates and times and fees again, please?
Yes, it will be March the 28th from 6 to 10 at the First National Bank Arena in the Haynes Room, which is the lower red level.
Okay.
And the admission is for ASU students is $5, and our general admission is $10. And I also want to let them know that the ticket sales will start at Walmart on January the 26th on Highland from 10 to 3. And you also have the opportunity, the community, if you want to sign up and be a part of this great event as well.
Okay, so I'm sure that you welcome sponsors or anyone just make a donation even if they can't attend.
Yes.
Again, all the money that this association raises go back into enriching the students' education. So please, please, please support these students in their efforts to provide you with some entertainment and culture, and then to help them gain some continuing education experience so they can be wonderful social workers when they hit that field.
Yeah, again, we want to emphasize to you that the pre-sale students, $5 with your ID. You must show your ID.
All right.
General admission, $10. Now, if you wait and show up the night of the event, you will pay more. Okay, students, it will be $7. general admission. It would be 12.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the